Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to do the lotus flower stitch. So that's this one right here. And when it's done, it looks like this. So the principle with all of these stitches is basically the same. You want to start from the back. You want your tail hanging out of the back because eventually that'll be where you knot off. And you want, you know, if it's messy at all, you want that to be in the back of the book, not the front. You want to make sure you only stitch, you know, where these lines are. So don't be making a stitch, you know, here. Only be doing it where you want them to be. And so I'm going to stitch this up real quick, so you can see how I do it. And also another thing, if you're having any trouble getting your needle through, especially if you're going through a hole for like the 4th time, just grab your awl and re-poke and work the needle a little bit. And, you know, you should be good to go. Because if you get your needle stuck in there and you yank it too hard, you can snap the needle. All right, so I'm going to show you how I sew the lotus flower stitch. This is my tail, so this would be coming out of the bottom of your book, you know, the back. This shouldn't be hanging out of the front. And leave just enough that you're comfortable making a square knot when you're done. All right, I'm going to try to keep it in the frame. I messed that up. So I actually want to go down into this hole. Because if you look here, and then this is my back. I'm going to do the loop around the top here. Going to finish up the flower stitches on the inside of the flower. And what you'll see here is the flower is done on both sides. Also, we're in a position where we're ready to make the same stitch that we made on the front, on the back. So I'm gonna make that stitch now. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna finish this flower and then we're gonna tie off on the back. So the outside will be done with this stitch right here. That'll be our last stitch. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do these 2 lines and they'll get filled on both sides, and then we'll end up popping out of this hole and tying off to that. If there's ever a point where you're like, where do I go? Just take a deep breath. Make sure you haven't done any stitches incorrectly, and then you should see where the next stitch should take you. Because you don't even have to do it in the order that I've done it in. As long as you're putting stitches where they need to be, you will end up back where you started. All right, so there's one. We're gonna make this stitch here. And then we're gonna come up here. Awesome. Down here. Great, and then as you see, done on the front, and then on the back, all we're gonna do is we're gonna tie a square knot off here, then we're gonna tuck it in with the yawl, and then your book is done. Obviously, you're gonna be doing this with your fully covered covers all clipped together, you know, with all your papers and everything all in there. It's just easier for me to show and keep it in the frame if I'm just doing it on this single piece right here. So that is how you make your lotus flower stitch. Awesome.